Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why your person's doing what they're doing. Why are you attracting who you're attracting? And what you could do to shape shift the energy because there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs, and your core beliefs are what determine your actions, and your actions are what make up your karma. So I'm going to jump right on in today. Now, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel you find in the description box, including the word of the video. Now, the word of the video you'll need to write in the comment bar if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, but you'll also have to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you don't subscribe to the channel, you don't get notified. I have a feeling a few people that have not subscribed tried to play the word of the video. Yep. Yes, I do. The police, the YouTube police told me. No, I'm only kidding. But I definitely know because a few people have not claimed their reading. Now, all readings are done live. However, you can send me all your questions the day before. I'll never say your name. So the reading is private, unless you're going to get on and like try to like ask questions, and obviously people are going to know. But you can always ask me questions, the questions that I didn't get to also after the live stream. And that's through an email or whatever. But you'll get a reading. I believe in spiritual law, what's best for everyone involved. So that's why I like to do it that way. You get a free reading, I get to expose the channel, and whoever else resonates with the message, well, they get to, apply the information to their life too, because these readings are not just about what your person, like I said, is going to do. We don't care a lot of times what they're going to do. A lot of times what they do doesn't make sense. We're like, okay, of course they're not going to do anything. Of course they're going to act like they don't care. Of course they're going to act like their life is fine. Broken people are broken. They are not emotionally intelligent. So they're never going to come from their true self, their higher self. Relationships are all about making you into a better version of yourself. Now you might be like, not with that past life karmic mate. However, yes, even with the nastiest and most horrible past life karmic mates, because those relationships make us look at ourselves. They make us take the deep dive into ourselves and say, why did I like that person? Or why did that person do what they do? How did that person make me feel? Why did they make me feel the way that they did? These are all really important questions to ask yourself because you want to be able to change the energy. And even if you're not with that person, you don't want to be in alignment with something that isn't honoring you, that isn't going to give you the best version of themselves. They're going to give you the worst version of themselves. We all can have many different versions of ourselves. All right. So it's understanding that that's why, not because you're a bad person. A lot of times people say, am I attracting this person? I'm a horrible person, or I didn't deserve that. Why did I? They don't take any accountability at all is just as bad as blaming yourself. It's to understand why. So you could just integrate the spiritual lesson and transmute that negative energy so you can become a magnet of who and what you want to resonate with, not and any past trauma. All right, so let's see. The word of the video. Look, this was passed over, crossed over, and and I'm going to show you, but past life. I wanted to pull one and it was aggressive, but needy flipped over also. And so I'm going to take all of them because I never believe in any mistakes. I just don't. It's like everything's in divine order. So you might be like, that's not supposed to look like that. Or I shouldn't have done that. Or that person ruined my opportunity. It's you might have been redirected. Now remember, unless you stand in a place of faith, you're definitely not going to see it from that perception. You're going to see it as someone ruined you, someone took something from you. No one can take anything from you. No one can destroy you. They can destroy a job that you're at, or they can destroy like an opportunity that you were going to get, or they can do something like that, but they can't ruin you. You'll be redirected, but everything's in divine order. So even though you might say that still wasn't supposed to happen, Spirit says you're down there to learn. Physical world is a school where we learn. You get the lesson, you get the test first, you get the lesson later, where you go to school and you get the lesson first and then you get the test, which kind of logically makes sense, right? How are we supposed to know? How the hell are we supposed to know the answers to the test if we've never taken the lesson? And Spirit says, karmic, everything's karmic. So if you grew up into a family that didn't know, well, again, you're going to adapt to the behaviorisms and habits of the family, and your life is going to look a lot like your family. That's what ancestral karma is. So, again, breaking ancestral karma means quantum jumping into the reality that you want to create. And everybody has this power because everybody has the deity part of self. The deity part of self is the God part of self. So, when we're talking about past life, karmic mate, we're talking about someone that there is a ton of unconditional love, and you're like, I know who you are. And that person's like, well, I know who you are, you know? um, and there's an unconditional love. The person feels like home. However, um, even though there's all this love, there's also spiritual lessons that have not been learned. And so those lessons also cross over into the new lifetime that you both incarnated into. And, your roles might change. Maybe now you're a man and this person's a woman, or vice versa. Maybe now you're the person that is on the receiving end of that negative karma, where in a past life it was the other way around. Again, it's all about learning. And we would never learn that we're not separate from God, which is the universe, which is unconditional love, unless we saw things from everyone's perception. And that's not the easiest thing to do. So again, there's a very spiritual connection is what I'm getting at. I'm also getting at the paradoxal of there's this intense love, crazy love, but there's also like a lot of just spiritual issues that have not been panned out. And it comes in the fact that this person tends to be needy. And I feel like you could be emotionally needy sometimes because you didn't get what you needed, meaning what you perceive that you need. What you perceive that you need, which is this person is never there. They're never giving me what I need. And what Spirit's saying, well, they shouldn't need to give you that. You're needy. Now you're like, what? My person should never show up for me. And Spirit says, no, they should not never show up for you. But, you needing somebody to be there for validation, to make you feel secure, to make you feel loved, to make you feel like a whole person is really what that means. But I believe in this context, it's more about the person that you're connected to being needy. And that's where, again, they're used to someone coming in and rescuing them, and that's not happening right now. So there's a lot of aggression. This person's used to being able to control and dominate, and I feel like they're not able to do that. They're not able to control and dominate right now. I also believe that, their past relationship broke up, and now whatever that they have, which is a feeling of lack, like they have a lot less, and also don't have really any direction. They don't have any direction. They don't have a good financial ability. Really, at the base, this person like doesn't feel good about themselves at all, And this is why again, there's a lot of aggressive behavior. And I feel like it's like when I look at this, I feel like that bear, it's more coming from a place of rage and anger and hurt. And that's what happens when we continue to live past life karmic lessons that we don't learn. And I feel like that in connection to someone that just has one bad relationship after another bad relationship after another bad relationship. And though there is a very strong spiritual connection between you and this person, they're almost like again, they would feel a lot more comfortable if you would come to them and make things right. Even though that I have a feeling that this person was in the wrong. And they also know that they were in the wrong, and they also don't like to feel needy, and they feel needy. So there's all this spiritual energy that's not really being expressed. So again, you're in separation from this person, and when you were dealing with them, when you're dealing with them, again, they wanted you to be this submissive, but they were needy. So understand that. That means you need to go along with everything that I say because you need to make me feel good about myself. Aggressive is pretty much that. It's controlling, but there's this anger behind it, right? When we have an aggressive person and then they don't get what they want, they get mad, but they may not be that way in the beginning when you first meet them. And I feel like this person perceived you to be someone that you weren't. They perceived you to be a lot more needy. And I think at one time you were. I actually feel like when you first met this person, you would be willing to give them extra time, extra attention, which is why they thought you were a little needy. And also because you got annoyed because this person wasn't showing up a lot of times for you. So it wasn't so much that you were needy. You were like, this person, you keep doing that where you don't show up for me. You don't so again, when meanwhile they're needy, I want you to be submissive to them, what they want. Like your opinions don't matter. And they would do it by being deceiving. They would not being transparent, not telling you everything about their situation. I feel like this person also tried to get you stirred up within your emotions, almost thinking that you weren't going to be logical, weren't going to be analytical. They wanted to come in and sweep you off your feet so that they could feel more secure, so that you could help them with their life because they like what your life looks like now. And this is also why they're angry now because again, there's a part of them that thought that you were going to do that because it's all about their insecurity. Like I said, they don't have direction. I feel like this person's very lonely. They don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do. Like at one time, I feel like this person was secure in who they were, but they've had one bad relationship after another bad relationship. And believe me, if you're a past life karmic mate, well, guess what? The previous person was too. And the previous one before that was too. So this person like winds up going into like a 10-year cycle, a 12-year cycle, a 5-year cycle. It doesn't matter how long, but it's always the same scenario, just different face. And it's where the person that's with them like destroys them, destroys their self-image, destroys their financial status, just destroys. So they tend to, again, withdraw from you because they don't feel strong, obviously, with themselves. And during that time, I also feel like that was one way that they would manipulate you, try to deceive you, be like, again, emotionally check out, not be there. And that's really why this person's needy, believe it or not. They're so controlling and so aggressive that there's a underlining fear because really when people are comfortable with themselves, when they know who they are, they don't feel the need to control or manipulate. They don't feel the need to do that. They're able to, have a conversation and be transparent. This person really doesn't want to be transparent. And that's because says more about them than you. But I could see how you would take it personally. Like, I feel like it's me, because they're aggressive. So they come across as a little bit confident, maybe confident or know exactly what they want. They don't know what they want. They think you can save them. There's a difference. It's again, they have more belief in you than they do about them, but they don't trust anybody, is what I'm saying. And I don't think that that's how it was in the beginning either. I feel like it's because of the way you dealt with them that this person tried to play a lot of games. They met you, I feel like, when they were already involved with someone else. They're not in that relationship anymore. And due to the fact that they're not in that relationship anymore, they're looking to start their life all over again. Problem is that they're needy. So they always go into the relationship letting everybody do everything for them, almost like where they pretend to be submissive, but it's them really being manipulative and deceiving to know exactly what you feel comfortable with, to know exactly how much you're going to do, and also so that you emotionally bond to them. And then they're going to figure it out. But the problem is, then they're never really 100% comfortable because no one wants somebody to come into their life and do everything for them. And then it's boring because there's still a sense of they're not coming from their true self, their higher self. They're coming from a lower version of themselves, which I don't trust me. I'm so going to rely on you. But now I don't really like what you've created. And so because I don't like what you've created, now I'm going to do what I want. So the people, all the past life karmics are like, you made me give you my resources, my time, my energy. And now it creates a lot of friction. It creates a lot of intimacy problems. It creates a lot of problems. And it definitely creates a lot of this. More like, again, more like aggressive anger energy, like a bear. Like, and I mean, like, almost like it's not going to be rational. It's going to be in survival. And it's like you're telling me who to be. Well, now you're controlling me. But hey, you didn't have any problem when we started off in this relationship, which again, this talks about a second chakra imbalance. So we see trust issues, we see intimacy issues, we see betrayal issues, we see again a lack of passion. So that's what you'll see. Intimacy in the beginning is all about being trust, transparency. This person is not that. So what happens is the relationship is just based on passion and attraction that doesn't last. It turns into betrayal. That's why they always say there's a fine line between love and hate. And as they've inherited things, again, ancestral karma, I feel like their family karma, growing up in a really codependent, toxic environment, also being raised by a parent that says you need to act more like a man and don't show feelings, take charge. Again, these really outdated views. If the person's a man, if the person's a woman, it's the same thing. It's like you should stay home and cook and take care of your person and like go along with whatever they do, become subservient. It's again these outdated views and these behaviorisms that come along with it, where there's codependency. And if you look at this, there's almost also like if this person was brought up by a parent that you see how in the background the parent looks like angry. I don't know if they're holding up their finger or if that's part of the wall or something. It almost looks like they're like this. Like they have their hand up like where and the child is like obviously like feels shamed. So being brought up by a parent that's very aggressive made the person not be able to create themselves. Again, when you're creating yourself, it's just an unfoldment process, and you're feeding yourself by joining things and being interactive with a lot of diversified people to get different views on things, to again put your energy into finding yourself. So that means traveling, it means taking different classes, it means connecting to different people. This person didn't do that. And that's part of the reason why they're needy. They don't really know who they are because they were raised also by a very controlling parent. Now, that also happens when the parent wasn't happy within their own relationship. So this person not only saw a bad relationship, but they were raised by somebody that made them feel not worthy, not good enough. not having enough, you know? So for those, so due to the fact that they were raised by a parent that was like that, and they witnessed what was going on continuously, like about how they also were treated by that parent. This person like stifled who they are. They were so afraid to go out and find who they are, is what I'm getting at. So they actually feel like there's something wrong with them. And they try and, be in a relationship and they feel like they want a relationship, but they get into the relationship and then they're bored. So they also tend to have a lot of fear of change, and that's because they don't know who they are. So what we see here is a root chakra imbalance again because there wasn't a good strong foundation. So they don't have a good strong foundation inside themselves. So again, that root chakra that affects all the chakras. As we know, and our chakras are the spiritual centers that represent the psychological and the emotional aspects of ourself. So understand, you might be like, why do I want to know all this? Well, you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So you do want to know this. And by knowing this, you can also see that it was not all about you, that this person was really in a survival mode, that again, they really, if we don't know who we are and we don't like who we are, then everything's affected. If we don't trust who we are, then we're always in a state of fear. So, of course, when we get to create something that we perceive as comfortable for us, we don't want to lose it. We don't want to change it. There's a sense of, well, this is good. I don't want to ruin it, but this person will always ruin it. And they'll always ruin it because their foundation is weak. And the foundation is weak because of, again, they never created themselves. They don't know who they are. And so they don't like who they are. There's someone that tends to say, like, seek out people that they like, that they admire, that have all the good qualities, but don't know what their value is, or this person perceives that they don't know what their value is, but someone that's going to help them. And they may not even know it like that. Someone that's nurturing, that's someone that's going to give them, again, what they seek. Someone that's needy is looking for things that are going to benefit them, not the other way around. Unless, of course, it benefits them. Betrayal. And so, again, this is what this person did. I said, and that's because they molded to, I feel like after that past relationship, they molded to that relationship. And then what happens is they're like, no, I don't really want to live that life. And then they get bored. It affects the intimacy. Then they go and start talking to somebody else. And this person has a bad history of cheating. They have a bad history of like just being the black sheep of the family, being the problem, because what they'll do is that they think that they want something, and then what happens is they don't really want it because when we're finding ourselves, when we're creating ourselves, we're consistent. We're putting our time and our energy and our resources to becoming ourselves. I feel like this person, when they were doing that, they brought in other people as well. So they might have had their own company, they might have had their own, you know, like business ventures, something that was related to their stability. And in that, that also stunts a person from being able to grow themselves. I feel like for some, they were in a family business, had a family business, and it's like, they couldn't become themselves because they had to rely on what their parents wanted. They had to agree. But that's where betrayal comes from in this instance. It's that this person, like I said, they went from one extreme of, I really, really want to be with you and put you on a pedestal and try to become you or take the good traits of you, and then, once they're not going to get the same results as you. That's the problem. And then this person, I feel like, would also probably sabotage you or trigger you because it's like, why aren't I getting the same results? You need to help me. Again, this person hasn't created themselves. So betrayal doesn't all the time look like this person cheated. It means on every level, this person doesn't know who they are. Yes, they get into relationships and they do that. But what I'm also saying is they also have a problem with people like that have the spotlight on them if they're not also going to have the spotlight. You understand? It's like this person doesn't get acknowledged. There's a desire, there's a need to be wanted, to be desired, especially if they don't have a good sense of self. They want other people to give them that sense of self. They want to be able to look at the people around them and be able to identify them with those people. And they can't really do that on their own. They need somebody that they perceive can help them do it. And that's betrayal because it's like, I'm not really with you for who you are. I'm with you for everything that I perceive that you can do for me. Now, does this person think that that's love? Yes, they do. But they weren't brought up in a family that showed what unconditional love is. They were told they had to mold to the environment. They were shown in healthy relationships look like codependency. Healthy relationships mean that you have to give up of yourself and you have to do what the other person wants. But in that, there's always going to be cheating, there's always going to be betrayal, there's always going to be issues because that's not, it's fragmented. It's fragmented because both parties don't 100% know who they are. And one person like perceives the other person to, well, actually, usually both parties see the other person as having something that they don't, or wanting something that they both can acquire on their own. And lack. So again, this person, the lack of finances now, and that's also why, again, they feel like they don't know what to do. See, normally they would just come in and pretend that they had all this money and they, wear a mask because they're not really anybody, is what we see, because they didn't take the time to really find themselves. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have a job. It's like, but the job that they do, they're not connected to with emotionally. And I feel like there's other people around them that pretty much tell them what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, which is most jobs. But that's why it's so crucial to have friends and hobbies and other interests outside work. If that's going to be your work, you're not going to be happy for the majority of time. And that's not a good way to live. Our society likes to push us into that. I realize that. However, it's like it's not true because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And it's all about creating yourself. And instead of giving time to random relationships, which is what this person does, and all they keep doing is recreating the same undesirable life experience over and over and over and over and over again because they never heal the root of their issue. So it's again, does this person have feelings? Yeah, they do have feelings, but they have a bad history. And part of it is they're always coming from a place of lack. Does that mean that they don't can never acquire money? No, I feel like they can acquire money, but then they lose all their money, and they lose money because what happens is that people feel as if they're not truthful, that they betrayed the relationship that they're with, especially if they come in and you're the fixer and you're the doer and you're like trying to help them. And then all of a sudden they go from taking it to like saying, now you're controlling me. They go from one extreme to another. It's again that's feel it triggers abandonment. It triggers a lot of self-doubt. It creates a lot of problems, intimacy problems within the relationship that make the relationship very toxic, which is what this person likes to do. See, they can't do that now though, because like I said, The last person like trashed them, so they don't really have money. And this person also knows that they didn't treat you well to begin with. They were with somebody else. They couldn't give you. So you're like, I'm not doing anything because you never gave me. So they're frustrated because they're like they're being exposed. And they're being exposed because they know that they would be coming towards you if they were doing that. So prejudice. Again, part of this person feels like, well, it should be. You should. You should do it for me. I shouldn't have to come to you. Because again, I feel like they're just prejudiced in their views. Again, those outdated ways of thinking is more what I feel like why this person is like prejudiced. Like, men shouldn't cry, men shouldn't ask for forgiveness, men shouldn't have money, men shouldn't have, and I'm not saying that this is a man, but it feels like it's more leaning towards that, but it could be very easily women saying like, well, if a man really likes me, they should go high and above for me. So there might even be a little bit of both, where both parties have outdated views of thinking because of being raised by parents that weren't balanced within their own relationships, and then how those parents also projected their anger and their rage and their aggression onto their children. And the past life karmic remember means that there's different spiritual lessons. However, there was the same spiritual wounds created from very similar experiences. See, we can't go back in time. But we're not going to be able to change our mother or our father. We're not going to be able to change anything because parent grew up so during certain times collectively and other factors. But what the universe does is it conspires to recreate the dynamic through the karmic lesson. And that's what we see here with you and this person. And that's what past life karmics are. So again, this person, they again comes in acting like the martyr, but they again it still talks about all their inner child wounds. So they're angry right now. We don't see them doing anything, but I'm going to ask, are they going to do anything? And can we go a little bit deeper? How does this person feel on an emotional level? And because this person, I don't even know if they know emotionally. That whole deck of cards fell on the floor, but thank God I'm not using them, so it doesn't matter. Okay, let's see, let's see. What we are experiencing is a part of a larger collective clearing. Don't feel alone because others are healing too. So again, this person doesn't really know, and you don't know, but you both feel like, why is this so difficult? And it's because it's again a clearing. In order for a clearing to happen, we must bring up the emotional pain, the emotional wounds. We have to look and be like, why isn't life working? So we actually have to sit in that emotion in order to ask, your emotions are the gateway to spiritual healing. So it's like collectively, there's a lot of people that are in just like not coming from their true self, their higher self, and they're coming from a lower consciousness. And in that lower consciousness, we're undervaluing ourselves. We're not coming from like, we're not stepping into our true potentiality where we're creative visionaries that are able to really create our own heaven on earth. We don't know how to do that. We were not taught as a society how to do that. So in the feelings of feeling inadequacy, a lot of times we overcompensate or undercompensate within our relationships. So which creates the imbalance, which is why people actually wear masks, where at this point, this person doesn't want to wear a mask. And I feel like you don't want to wear a mask. But however, it's like I said, those spiritual wounds are still there. So without the integration process of why do I feel this way? And what can I do to fix it? See, this person is looking at you saying, well, you can fix it. and that's not the answer. It's this person's like, if I could fix it, I would have fixed it already. Um, they have major trust issues now. So they need to like again clear. And I feel like again, if you're attracting this person, is you're like relationships are difficult and they're really not that difficult. So there's something inside you that needs to be clear. You think I'm not listening to you, but I am. I hear everything that you say and I replay the conversations in my head. So this person is not a good communicator, is what it is. They don't feel comfortable communicating. And so you feel like they don't care. And so again, emotionally, you're like, I need to feel that connection, and I don't really feel it with you. But this person does have the connection. You want it to look a certain way. And that person is not emotionally intelligent enough to feel safe enough to feel vulnerable. That would take time. I've been learning about twin flames and it feels right to me. So again, this person does feel like that spiritual connection, and I feel like they're trying to figure it out. Do I think that this is twin flame energy? No, I think it's more of a past life karmic mate. However, if this person is ready to do the actual healing, they can evolve into a higher level, which is again, go up to a twin flame. Our destiny is calling. So again, this person feels like you're part of their destiny. They feel like they have to heal. They have to step into their true divine self. But a lot of it is also that they're really drawn to passion. There's a part of this person that longs for your kisses and wants your touch and wants that emotional. So again, it's like I feel like they're like, I can be in your life. I could be in your life. Like they're looking at things through a much different perception, which is that, however, um, and I just think it's because they're still thinking about you. And because you like release this person, it's not like they were giving you anything. So you released them and you're showing them a different version of yourself, which is really attractive. It's like they don't like it because it doesn't, it's that they like it because it's attractive, but they don't like it because they feel like you're not obtainable now, which had to happen for this person to actually look at themselves. Like the universe actually had to trigger this person's ego to make them look at themselves. And they would not do that unless they thought that your life was better than theirs. I'm just saying. So what this is, I'm praying you'll come back after everything that's happened between us. I am worried that you won't forgive me and allow me another chance. So again, they know that they, weren't really finished with one relationship before they started another relationship, that they didn't, being that they never gave you anything. And now, of course, that they have nothing to offer. So they're really in a place of like being humbled, which you had to deal with this person before they weren't humble. I feel like they were too busy dealing in a past relationship with a past relationship. Accessing past life wisdom is helping me understand things with a new perspective. And that's really what I said this relationship's about. That this relationship, I wouldn't say it's a twin flame relationship, but I can understand why this person is emotionally confused, thinking that it is twin flame because they have a lot of passion for you. There is a desire. They say, I see how my life could fit into your life because we got along before. You liked me before. The problem is that they didn't give you the time. It's almost like a missed opportunity, and they don't want it to be a missed opportunity. But that's going to require them to do some footwork. That's what that means. It means that they're going to have to do some footwork. But what I see is that they're, right now, they're trying to get up the strength to like actually come back, but it's also they're accessing all the past life wisdom of, hey, like you were in the past life, what happened in a past life? Why do I keep thinking about you? What does this have to do with this life? Like, and do they understand all of it? No. And are they getting like a clear dialogue? No, but I feel like they're definitely accessing some memories that's triggering emotions, that's bringing up emotions, which are making them feel a certain way. And that's is what's going to make them take action. Because just don't think that this person's evolved enough. That's why I'm saying it's like I don't really feel like they're spiritually evolved. Music, again, inspires them to do so. Um, you're like this sacred space, like they feel safe with you. Um, and there's a sense of them trying to, I'd say, renovate themselves, right? It's like that's their before they come back. So there is a sense of you're pushing them to do the healing and also take care of who they are right now, and also plan a way to come back and give you a better version of themselves because there is this sacred connection that they have. Again, signs. That's all that they see. They're like signs. There's like almost like finally letting the universe take control. And that's because you're not given anything. You're not doing anything. So this person has went from a logical and analytical of I don't really know how to fix my situation. I need someone to fix my situation. You need to fix my situation. I like everything that you are. You need to come in and fix this. And then you're not. So they're aggressive. They finally get to a place of surrender because they realize no one's coming to save them. And that pushes them into, again, more of accessing past life, wisdom, and memories, as well as like wanting to now fix up who they are, to getting the strength to actually heal their inner child wounds, maybe not 100%, but at least starting to look and to finally listening to the universe instead of just themselves. So I don't think that this person is coming back to you yet because they don't know whether you're going to like take them back, and they don't want the rejection. I don't think that they're strong enough to deal with the rejection. So they want to like confront you when they're in their best version of themselves, and that's not where they are right now. But they're getting themselves. Take a moment to consider the things you don't like about yourself with love and compassion. So again, this person's doing their shadow healing. So that's where they are. Being honest is not easy, but it is empowering to speak their truth. So again, this person is realizing that they need to be transparent. So like I said, they're probably not coming near you, that you're not seeing anything because where they are right now is they're in the deep dive. And the deep dive is looking at all their behaviors, on everything that's transpired in their life. How did they get to this point right now? Why are they in this position where they can't come back to you because they feel like they have not enough money or nothing to offer? But again, now instead of focusing on those things, they're focusing more on themselves. So again, we see why this is a spiritual connection, because we see two people that are in separation, and we kind of say, well, the whole time, I don't see why I had to put up with this. And that's why we're going to look at your inner child wounds, because if this person is in a place of healing themselves, fixing themselves up, right now, and again, getting the strength up to be able to look at those, past life karmic mates, and to be a little bit afraid the whole time that you may not be coming back, but still have that passion. They feel stuck. It's like, I can't just let go of this. I can't let go of it because I still have feelings. I still have a desire. However, I know I'm not good enough and I have nothing to really offer. Pushes this person to do the internal work. It's all about, again, unconditional love, right? That's what I feel like. Now let's see. What are your inner child wounds? We're going to pull six because you're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So you have to say that you probably grew up in the same type of environment, watching a very codependent relationship and having parents that were not really that friendly to you because they couldn't deal with their own stuff. There's a lot of projection, but we have specific things that we need to learn from living in those environments. So the universe brings us people and situations that are going to help us awaken those things to help us integrate and transmute those wounds. Safety and security, card number one. Optimism, card number two. Rage, friendship, misunderstood, innocence. So, it's crazy. I'm calling it thankful to pull like one more disassociated, and that explains why. Okay. So I'm feeling like you did go through trauma, and the trauma was from not feeling safe and secure. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't have a home to live in, but parents that are nurturing, parents that love, parents that are giving, parents that make child feel safe. I feel like you didn't. Disassociation is that. It's that there's trauma there. It's like you're not feeling what that trauma is anymore, though. Yes, you know that you went through it, but you don't have a feeling one way or the other. But there's a lot of rage. And there's a lot of rage because you were brought up in a family that made to make it like you were like not understandable, like that you were always being misunderstood. That's what it felt like for you. They were constantly being misunderstood. So you didn't really fit in, so that you didn't really feel secure. You didn't feel emotionally secure. And again, not having a parent that made you feel safe disassociates, but I feel like they didn't make you feel safe because, again, emotionally, they had their own traumas. So there was a lot of the same, like which I knew that there would be, but I feel like you have a lot of gifts. And the gifts is you don't hold judgment. There's a sense that you're innocent, that you're true. Most people are phony. This person thought that you were phony in the beginning. They actually tried to find things on you and they couldn't find anything. And it's like it's so there's an innocence to you that they've never experienced before. Like most people are a little shady, most people lie, most people look, this is not who you are. And you make a good friend. You make a very good friend. Like this person sees that you really do have a lot of friends. People do really like you, that you're genuine. If there's someone that doesn't like you, there's usually something wrong with them. It's not something that's wrong with you. And that you're optimist. You're somebody that sees the good in everybody. So again, which is what makes you, again, innocent. So this person is being drawn to you because of those softer energies. Remember, they're lonely. They're lonely and they're needy. They're doing the work on themselves. So again, you being optimistic, you can again steer this relationship through friendship, really, and to gain trust, to grow trust, because you have trust issues too, because you were brought up in an environment that misunderstood your sensitivity, misunderstood your innocence, misunderstood again, like this part of you, your sensitivity, your innocence, your kindness, and they were angry. You grew up in it with somebody that was angry and projected that anger onto you, a lot of rage. So you were misunderstood and it created disassociation with inside of you. So you're attracting someone to you that has similar wounds. However, what I feel like is it's like this person they can evolve into a twin flame, but again, only through friendship. only through being taught give and take reciprocity. This person again normally comes in, acts like they're a certain way or really are in a certain way. They're broken, they feel broken, they don't know who they are. There's no such thing as a broken person, but they feel like there's something wrong with them and gets other people to do everything for them. So remember, it's like that's not what's happening here. This person's being forced by the universe to do its work, to do it, where it normally wouldn't. Where I feel like right now, what Spirit's saying is, it's like you're creating your own safety and security. You've already done that. You're not reaping a lot of negative karmic issues like this person did because they were bad. They brought in other people and they kind of like used them for what they could use them for. You have not done that. But you're putting your energy towards yourself. This person didn't give to you, yes, but there is a guilt. They want to do that now. So understand what they're coming back into the best version of themselves so that they can learn to be a friend, to be taught give and take reciprocity, to be taught all the higher levels of consciousness, which again is unconditional love, so that if you build a strong friendship, that's the actual glue to a relationship that this person has never had before. What they've always had is relationships that were codependent. They come in weak, they leave strong, and they devastate that person, and then that person comes back and then they flatten them. Like, oh, well, you left me, you screwed me over, you emotionally fucked me up, you used my resources, you used them. Well, guess what? During that time, I wasn't fully stupid. I still took care of myself to make sure that I had my hand in a lot of things that you were involved in too, and I smashed those things. So both parties usually leave like in a very bad way, which is like you're like, that's not going to happen to you because you didn't put up with it to begin with. This person coming back different. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't be like, oh, you're going to have to be a friend, and just like in a regular friendship, you'd have to say no. You have to lay boundaries. You have to teach a person. And in a real friendship, you do get mad with the person because the friendships, it's not a one size fits all. We all tend to have different feelings at different times, or we don't agree on the same things all the time. I'm looking for a deck of cards um all the time. However, here it is. However, it's not a one size fits all. It's a like, it's a process. And sometimes we have to say, is this person even worth being in my life? So let's see. Okay, I'm going to pull one card to end off with, because what we see here is that this is a soulmate relationship. And I feel like this person, if you guys are going to make it through the friendship level, then it'll go up to a twin flame relationship. But it's like the initiation for the twin flame relationship hasn't happened yet. Why? It's like I said, we get twin flames that sometimes are past life karmic mates that are ready to evolve into that higher level of consciousness, into a twin flame, and other times they do not. They just want to stay karmic mates. They don't learn the lesson. So we'll know, I believe, after the friendship phase, but it's intended to be one. And this is why your person feels like this is like a twin flame connection. It feels right. Everything turns to light. I work to improve myself, embrace all the light brings to me and transforms darkness into light. I allow myself to grow and become stronger. So again, this relationship is again to help transmute the darkness. That's what this relationship is. So regardless of whether it stays a past life, karmic, again, that doesn't mean that you will get negative karmic retribution. You will not. If you are friends with this person, you just need to be the person that has the boundaries. Now, you may say, why would you want to do that? Because I feel like it would be healing and there is love there. However, if you do pursue the relationship and say, well, I want it to be like a full-blown twin flame relationship, you would still need to start off on that friendship level. Either way, the universe says they're collecting their due. And that means you both will learn to integrate the spiritual lessons of unconditional love through each other because there is unconditional love there. It's just, will this person be able to ground and really give it to you? I feel like they will. I feel like they're ready to. I do. We incarnated together to clear specific patterns from our ancestral bloodline. Listen, that I don't make this shit up. There it is. So that's why this person again, that is the twin flame, is your twin flame. So it's again, you both had patterns from the family that need to be transmuted. And so there is this process though that you're both going through to get to that level. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one. I love you. I'll talk to you soon, Virgo. Bye.